Oh, man, work. Okay, don't know what my TV's doing. I won't be able to see comments at the moment because live chat at the moment because it is being very slow. It might should hopefully turn on for me here in a minute. Alright, there we go. There is severe weather currently going on in central Oklahoma and North Texas. No, yeah. Anyways, currently it looks like southwest Oklahoma City, and it does extend south into North Texas. Checking out here, there was a little bit of spin down here in North Texas a while ago, and apparently this radar just doesn't want to work. It's just, oh no, this is the short range radar. Never mind. Okay, there we go. Velocity. It did show some rotation in that area there in North Texas. All right, I can see live chat now, so I can't see y'all's comments. I can't see it now. And there's a new severe thunderstorm warning in northeast Oklahoma, north of Tulsa. And it looks like 60-mile-per-hour winds, maybe a few quarters in there. And like I said, this is currently north of Tulsa. The main tornado risk will be out in this area. However, there has been some talk about the enhanced tornado risk moving to the northwest into Oklahoma City. And I will be keeping an eye on that. Because if that does, that means because there is no storms currently right here in OKC metro area and south. So there will be a higher rate of instability and possibly low level shear because we're in a tropical environment, which does mean we will see more possible tornadoes, spin, shear, instability, all that stuff. We will see this more with this storm system. I get my Chromebook so that way I can get updates from the Storm Prediction Center. Live chat is still on, so I can see live chat. So if you guys have any questions, I can answer it. There has not been a reported tornado as of yet today. What do you mean, Anya? What do you mean you knew it? What do you mean you knew it? You changed your uh, ways. Storm Prediction Center. There we go. A tornado watch has also been issued in mostly in Oklahoma, Oklahoma state of Oklahoma, and there might be a severe thunderstorm watch in northwest Oklahoma to southern Kansas here in the next couple of hours. I did not mean to do that. Ooh, two daisies. New mesoscale discussion has gone up discussing about a possible severe weather watch out in this general area of northwest Oklahoma and southern Kansas. Hopefully my Wi-Fi freaking works. Okay, there we go. And yeah, there we go. Okay, now I'll be getting updates from the Storm Prediction Center through my Chromebook, school issued laptop. Right now, no tornado warnings in effect. Mostly just embedded, we will see embedded tornadoes possible with this line as it moves east, northeast, and we can see some more isolated supercells firing off out in this area in southern and southeastern Oklahoma and North Texas. However, like I said, there is some concern that we could still see some tornadoes out here in the Oklahoma City metro area, Norman, Purcell, Chickasha, and there still remains a possibility for a tornado within the storm here, closing in on Oklahoma City and central Oklahoma area. And I'm not seeing much rotation, but I am seeing 50 to 60 to even 70 mile per hour winds. That is going to be a big concern as well. It's not just winds, it's also tornado, flash flood risks today. And it looks like there might be a little bit of a hook developing there, practically right over Cyril, Oklahoma. And tornado watch does range from central Oklahoma to southeast Oklahoma and far, far northeast Texas. Probabilities, there is a 70 out of 90% chance for tornadoes, and right now, currently a low 20% out of 90% chance for strong tornadoes. It's not zero, but it is currently on the lower side. And yeah, it looks like there is some rotation trying to develop there over Cyril, Oklahoma now. And that's going to be something to be mindful of. And there, like I said, this is all these storms are in a favorable tropical environment. These all need to be kept a very close eye on, and that's why I'm here. Make sure I'm on the main page on the Storm Prediction Center, and I am. Like I said, this entire line is going to be moving east. It's going to be a major wind event, possibly. And as this continues moving east, northeast, it's going to be hitting a more favorable environment out here in central, southeast Oklahoma. Again, tornadoes, some could be strong, damaging winds, and that's trying to spin up there in Cyril. Nothing on debris, though. I'm not seeing any debris in the air, which is good. That means there is not a tornado on the ground. But Cyril, Cement, Norge, Chickasha, Ninnekah, Verdun, Oklahoma, this general area out here needs to keep an eye on this cell because it is trying to spin. It is trying to rotate. I know it doesn't look like it, but there is a slight difference right there. Very, very slight difference. New severe thunderstorm warning issued in southern Oklahoma as well. And if we go to reflectivity, we do have a slight hook here. That's now going over Cement, Oklahoma, and that is still heading to the north, northeast. Not right now. Be quiet. Anyways, right now there's not a confirmed tornado. There's no tornado warning, but this is a rotating. All these on here are embedded rotating thunderstorms, and it looks like other storms appear to the northwest as well. Be quiet, Scotty. Be quiet. Anyways, it looks like some of these storms to the northwest. These will also pose a tornado, somewhat of a tornado threat. Going up here to north of Tulsa, this general area we could also see quite a few thunderstorms, severe with wind, hail, and a tornado threat. And it looks like just west of Broken Arrow, some flooding and damage reported there. And currently the severe thunderstorm is producing, according to radar, 1-inch hail or quarter-size hail, 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Not very strong at the moment. Like I said, the most favorable conditions will be out here in central to southern Oklahoma. Lawton, you guys were under a tornado warning earlier. There was a few warnings out here in this area earlier, not very long ago. And we still have that rotating thunderstorm. Looks like it's north of Cyril, practically right over Cement, really. Coefficient, not showing much It's not showing any debris lofted in the air, so that is not a tornado on the ground. There is a lot of wind in here from Gray Smont down to Cyril, Oklahoma. That is 60 to 70 to even 75 mile per hour wind gusts. That is going to be quite a bit of wind. This is going to go into the Oklahoma City metro area. We still have some other strong winds down here south of that, but it definitely seems like this is going to be the biggest wind bag part right here. Minco, Tuttle, Bridge Creek, Mustang, Union City, maybe as far north as El Reno and Yukon needs to be prepared for some damaging winds and possibly even a tornado or two. Radar picking up 60 mile per hour winds, 70. Currently nothing over 70 as of yet, but behind the line, the radars can't go really all that far, but there won't be any damaging winds, or at least there shouldn't be back here. On the back edge of this, it should be mostly wind. It's just like not much wind, but just mostly rain, and that's pretty much it. There might be a few gusts at the 50 on the backside, but there really shouldn't be much. Looks like a little teeny teeny hail signature there, south of Anadarko, Oklahoma. Velocity, again, it is showing a little bit of rotation there over Cyril. This is going to continue moving to the northeast and east. Let's go down to down here to North Texas. This is also producing quite a bit of wind in here as well. It's a bit difficult to see with how far the radar is from these storms. Currently, no severe weather up here in Kansas, northwest Oklahoma. However, there has been a mesoscale discussion for these storms up here that can produce some hail, some wind, and still poses a low tornado threat. And I think there might have been another mesoscale discussion. Yeah, there's a new one. This is for central Oklahoma, Oklahoma City, Norman, Chickasha, Shawnee. We do have the Storm Prediction Center released a mesoscale discussion kind of in this area, and they have discussed it. A maturing line of storms may pose a heightened threat for severe winds and a few tornadoes over the next 1 to 2 hours as it approaches I-35. As of 2050 UTC, some radar imagery showed a maturing thunderstorm cluster has become better organized over the last 30 minutes as it has moved across southwestern Oklahoma. Emerging from an initial group of several independent cells, the storm mode has trended towards a Boeing/line segment over time. The trend will likely continue as it tracks along and near the stalled frontal zone over central Oklahoma. Radar velocity measurements have shown periodic strong outflow surges with embedded mesovortices, large low-level steam-wise vorticity, and strong 0 to 3 kilometer wide normal shear evident as the TLX VAD hydrograph will continue to favor a balanced TLCS or brief mode as convection approaches the I-35 corridor in the next 60 to 90 minutes. Given the strong shear linear mode and potential for mature vortices, strong winds, damaging winds, some 70 plus miles per hour, a few embedded tornadoes are likely in central Oklahoma in the next 1 to 2 hours. Currently, again, tornado watch for central Oklahoma down to southern Oklahoma, but this specific mesoscale discussion is for this area, ranging from roughly the Chickasha area and a little further west up into central Oklahoma City, Moore, Mustang, Tuttle, Norman, McLeod, Pink. That big area there in central Oklahoma is under the gun for a few embedded tornadoes, damaging winds, and that hail threat is quite low. It's not expected to get much higher, but it's still there. Let's go over here into, oops, no, I want to go to the radar. Thank you. And this is mostly rain right here. The damaging wind risk and tornado risk will exist right here, where you see these oranges and reds. velocity. There is your damaging wind right there. Some of these, what I'm seeing is 69, 70, 71, 73, and I'm not seeing it anymore. But along this line, we can still see a couple embedded circulations and brief tornadoes as this continues moving off to the north-northeast, eventually making its way into the Oklahoma City area and the I-35 corridor. The severe thunderstorm warning up here near Tulsa, that has expired. These storms down here in Texas and southern Oklahoma, these will continue to produce winds and a smaller tornado threat, at least for now. But eventually these will also mature into stronger supercells as the afternoon goes on. Focusing back here in central Oklahoma, still a few embedded circulations as this system kind of bows out into a bit of a linear or bow structure. Chickasha, Amber, Bridge Creek, Blanchard, I'd be watching at least a few, so this line right here for any possible embedded tornadoes. They will be quick and they will be brief, but they will still could be damaging. Maybe tear some shingles off the roof. I'm hearing lightning outside my house, or thunder outside my house now. And like I said, 60, 70, possibly even higher damaging winds along this line segment. And this is going to continue off. Seeing some rotation in there, northeast of Cement. Like I said, that area needs to be watched very closely. I'm not seeing any debris on correlation coefficient as of yet. No new mesoscale discussion as of yet. The last one was roughly 11 minutes ago with that concern in central Oklahoma for a few brief tornadoes and a damaging wind gusts as this continues moving up to the northeast. And it looks like that rotation might be trying to tighten. We have some winds going up here, starting to try to inflow in, and some strong gust outflow. And this is what's going to cause some, at least some spin. But what concerns me is this boundary just south of Oklahoma City. And this is why we had so many tornadoes yesterday in central Oklahoma. These cells would hit this boundary, and there would be a sudden wind shift from northwest winds going to the southeast, and southeast winds going to the northwest. Once these winds hit, there was that sudden rotation in the air, and that's why these storms started to spin, and they did cause multiple damage. They did cause multiple areas of damage. That's why we had all those tornadoes yesterday. And that boundary is still there today. And it's right here, practically over Moore, Norman, and Oklahoma City metro area. If once these storms do hit this boundary or even cross the boundary, I do think that brief tornado threat will exist the best along this region as this strong storm down here west of Chickasha between Gracemont, Chickasha, Amber, Oklahoma. That storm will pose that greatest wind and tornado threat as it moves to the northeast. SRV, storm relative velocity, not showing as much rotation. It's not looking as tight to me anymore, but that rotation is still there as the storm moves to the northeast. Going back into southern Oklahoma, which looks like this isolated cell ahead of the line. That cell's trying to stay as independent as possible. That could produce a tornado or two as it moves off to the northeast. And the tornado that hit Hera, Oklahoma, and Tinker Air Force Base in eastern Oklahoma City, that has been officially rated an EF3. And when I looked at the damage, it definitely looked like EF3 rated damage to me. There's most of the walls taken down, and it looks like all that there was left was an interior bathroom, maybe a closet. It looked more like a bathroom to me, but that's what was all that was standing. And it looks like there is a bit of an embedded hook right here, right over Norge, Oklahoma. It's starting to look a little like a hook, and we still, yep, oh, that's for, oh, yeah, there's a severe thunderstorm warning for Oklahoma, for the Oklahoma County, Canadian County, Cleveland County, all this out here. It still has a tornado possible tag with it. We are now at central Oklahoma, Oklahoma City, Norman, Moore. This entire area is under a severe thunderstorm warning now with a tornado possible tag. And ranging from just south of El Reno all the way down to Cyril, Oklahoma. That circled area, it has been strengthening in the last 30 minutes. That has been slowly strengthening, 60 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts. That is going to be a windbag threat going into the city, and we can see a few brief tornadoes in there. But out here, very favorable, very, very favorable conditions. This is going to continuously get stronger as it moves to the northeast in a very, very favorable environment. Moving to the south, North Texas, we still have these cells up here producing rain, wind, and hail. Especially like out here, it seems like 70 mile per hour wind gusts possible with that cell. It's a little more difficult to tell because it's so far from the radar. Still like a little hook there to me. Looks like it's trying to develop an inflow notch. And it's raining in Yukon, Mustang, Tuttle, Bridge Creek. Rain going on out there. Velocity. It's starting to look a little like a complete there to me on velocity. Yeah, SRV showing it too. That is a tightening rotation right there over Norge, Oklahoma. That is looks like a tightening pump link. Yeah, that is definitely trying to rotate there. That is a tightening pump link moving to the northeast. And I've been talking about it. The Storm Prediction Center has been talking about it. There is that brief tornado risk for central Oklahoma still, and that is what we're seeing right here over Norge, Oklahoma, is a tightening circulation, and that is going to continue off to the northeast. And if that circulation can really start to strengthen places like Oklahoma City, Mustang, Norman, Moore, especially Moore, Norman, and Noble down here, we'll have to be keeping an eye out just in case this thing does produce a tornado and produces another one near Norman and Moore. Correlation coefficient, not showing any debris in the air. SRV and velocity are both showing a tightening comp link, though. They're over Norge. And a still strengthening wall of wind there just to the northwest, northwest. That is still a strengthening wind bag event. Still nothing on radar there in Norge. Nothing on correlation coefficient. However, still directly right over Norge, there is a tightening complete trying to form up, and this is going to be a very long severe thunderstorm warning as well. 70 mile per hour winds, a quarter size hail. That looks like it's definitely trying to tighten over. Oh, still nothing over Norge as of yet. That looks like it's just still tightening. It's still trying to tighten. I'm not seeing very fast winds in here, but that is still a very rapidly strengthening storm right there. That is trying to tighten, trying to spin and rotate, and it might drop a tornado in the next 5 to 10, 15 minutes if it can get its act together. So I've been saying this quite a bit. This is a very favorable environment, tropical environment for a few tornadoes, and obviously very bad damaging winds. And this is only the first wave. There's going to be a second wave coming out tomorrow or tonight into tomorrow morning in western Oklahoma and northwest Texas with the chance for tornadoes, wind, and some hail. And there might be a little bit of a signature now over Norge, but it's a little hard to tell. Correlation coefficient is showing something a little weird there over Norge. It's not tornado, it's not warned, and it's not that it's not that deep of a drop. It's not that deep of a drop, but it still should be something to keep an eye on right over Norge and the new radar. Hopefully this isn't a tornado, but that is starting to look like a tornado. That is very slowly starting to look like one right there over Norge. I'm not saying it is a tornado, but I have been saying this environment is favorable for a few brief tornadoes. Oh, tornado warning now in effect for western Oklahoma City, Yukon. I just heard it. There it is. This could be a tornado on the ground, or it's not on the ground. Tornado warning for Canadian County, El Reno, Union City, Yukon. Get to your safe places. This has ramped up very quickly. I've been saying in this environment there could be a few tornadoes. This is no exception right here. It has gone up. It is spinning. Yukon, North Union City, South El Reno, far north Mustang. In this area, this is a spinning thunderstorm right here. It's not on the ground as of yet, but that has spun up very quickly. This is what I've been talking about. In this environment, we will see these storms suddenly and rapidly start to spin, and that's what we just saw here. Strong inflow winds going in. And it was like weak. Actually, this is weak storms trying to go. Weak, complete on one side, but strong on the other. 60-mile-per-hour winds in that. It's like in that complex there on one side. That tornado warning, a new tornado warning for Norge, Chickasha, Blanchard, Dibble, Oklahoma. Two tornado warnings for the central Oklahoma, southwest and southwest of Oklahoma City. More Norman Noble. You guys will have to keep a very close eye on this as well. And this is only radar indicated currently. Central Grady County in central Oklahoma, West McLean County in central Oklahoma. This thunderstorm has the ingredients, has the environment to produce a tornado. Oklahoma City is becoming sandwiched now by two tornado warnings. Again, Canadian County, El Reno, Yukon, North Union City. Get to your safe spot. I'll be right back, guys. I need to tell my mom to text a family. Okay, tornado warnings continue. Like I said, in this environment, you have to pay attention. We have to be paying attention to these storms. Two tornado warnings. Watch how we saw how fast these things have sprung up. These tornadoes, there's no tornado on the ground as of yet that I can tell. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, that's not in the right spot. Never mind. It's not quite in the right spot there. Two tornado warnings in effect for central Oklahoma, Canadian County, McLean County, Grady County, Oklahoma. Big severe thunderstorm warning around as well. Chickasha, Norge, you're mostly out of it. Chickasha, Blanchard, Dibble, getting to your safe spot. Norman, Moore, Valleybrook, Noble, in Cleveland County. Get thinking of that safe spot as well. Tornado warnings. Two areas here. Up here in Canadian County, this seems to be the tighter rotation, but correlation coefficient not showing anything on the ground. And this is going to go right. This looks like it's going to go right through Yukon. This is starting to look like it's going to go right through. Is that more rotation there, west of Tuttle? That looks like some more rotation. Looks like there might be a tightening right there west of Tuttle, Oklahoma now, too. Like I said, this is just a big windbag of rotating thunderstorms right now going into Oklahoma City. I cannot express this enough. This has been a favorable environment for the last several days for tornadoes and wind and at least some hail. Central Oklahoma, couple areas of rotation. It looks like another one developing west of Tuttle, Oklahoma. And okay, looks like this rotation south of El Reno, looks like that might be trying. It looks like it's weakened a little bit. But Yukon, be thinking of your safe spot. Bethany eventually, North Oklahoma City. These supercells, they are still rapidly spinning. No tornadoes on the ground as of yet. There might have been a brief spin up in Norge. There might have been, I can't confirm that, but there might have been one north of Norge. Again, I cannot confirm it, but there might have been. Again, not confirmed. There is a tornado warning storm there in Canadian County still. No tornado on the ground as just yet, but there is this rotating spot. Again, in this kind of environment, you'll have storms spin up very, very rapidly. Quiet, Scotty. Again, very, very rapidly. These storms will spin up, and it looks like there's another rotating spot there west of Tuttle, Oklahoma. There might be a spot there trying to spin up now. This is going to be going almost towards Mustang. Hang on, I'll be right back again, guys. I need to warn my own family about this real quick. And there's another this is starting to really wrap up too. These storms are gonna very quickly spin up. Yeah, it's that's what's going on. These storms are hitting that boundary. I've been talking about it. These storms are hitting that boundary. That's why they're spinning. Okay, Chickasha, El Reno, Yukon. There looks like there's a little rotating notch there near Tuttle, Oklahoma. And correlation coefficient, debris. I'm not seeing any just yet. Oklahoma City is currently being sandwiched. A new mesoscale discussion has been released. And I'm going to have to wait for that. This one looks like it's in South Oklahoma City, though. Or, sorry, South Oklahoma. And it looks like this storm, Yukon, I'd be thinking of my safe spot, but it looks like it's going to it looks like it's starting to include to the north. Southeast East El Reno, Norman, Oklahoma. Norman, Blanchard, Dibble, Cole, Newcastle, even more. This cell is heading to the east, northeast. Norman, be keeping an eye on this. This is coming your way eventually. Yukon, Bethany, Southeast El Reno, Piedmont. This storm is going to the northeast, to the north. It is strengthening. Both areas are strengthening. They're rotating. Let's look at that area that was very close to Tuttle. Looks like that might have finally spun out a little bit almost. No tornado on the ground just as of now, though we are still looking at a very possible two tornadoes that could develop in the next couple of minutes. And their Storm Protection Center did release a new mesoscale discussion. And I've been saying this all day. So new tornado warnings in southern Oklahoma. This is going to be a new three tornado warnings all in Oklahoma. This is going to be radar indicated. Nothing on the ground. It's going to be extremely difficult to tell. But it looks like that is your rotation right there in southern Oklahoma. Southwest of Wilson, Oklahoma. I'd be thinking my state spot eventually Lone Grove, Ardmore, Springer, Dixon, Daughtry, even as far north as Sulphur. Think of that safe spot down there in southern Oklahoma. This is starting to rapidly spin. It looks like this area pretty much just southeast of Chickasha. Looks like that's trying to wrap up again. Newcastle, Norman, Goldsby, Noble. Be thinking of your safe spot now. This is all rotating. It's in an environment where it will really start to spin. And like I said, but we do have this boundary right here in central Oklahoma that is allowing for these storms to spin. That is why we have that tornado threat. The biggest tornado threat for central Oklahoma is going to be around this general area. However, the highest overall will be down here in southern Oklahoma, southeast Oklahoma, North Texas. But currently, it looks like the starting to finally weaken maybe there in southeast El Reno. It looks like it might be trying to weaken. But this is, like I said, we're in an environment where these storms will not take their time to rotate. They will very, very quickly spin. Yukon, I'd still be thinking about that safe spot. Lowest level, centermost point of your house, interior bathroom, interior closet, basement. If you live in a mobile home or an RV or any other unsturdy building, I'd be thinking of getting into a ditch even, because even ditches are more safe than a mobile home or an RV, believe it or not. No tornado on the ground as of yet. Right now, still tornado warnings, but we still have this line of severe thunderstorm and tornado warning storms moving northeast, east into the central Oklahoma City metro area now. Norman, you still need to be thinking about your safe spot, same as Yukon. It looks like it's trying to retighten there over between El Reno and Yukon. It's trying to tighten back up for the looks of it. Down here, south in Chickasha, it looks like that has weakened slightly, going into correlation coefficient. Not seeing any debris as right now. I'm going back into southern Oklahoma with this tornado warning storm. Could be in a better environment for a longer track tornado. This has been rotating for a while too. There's your rotation, roughly 13 miles south of Wilson. And those tornado warnings have actually updated here in central Oklahoma. Still tornado warned. Yukon, Bethany, mostly, right now, Yukon, you need to be thinking of that safe spot still. And eventually, it looks like this is heading to the northeast towards Piedmont. There could be a new tornado warning. Piedmont, you need to be keeping an eye on this, as well as East El Reno. This is still a tornadic storm. It could produce a tornado within the next few minutes. And we still have big, major wind in here as well, 60, 70 miles per hour. We still have this rotation down here. Currently, the rotation is roughly 4.5 to maybe 5 miles east of Chickasha, Oklahoma. This rotation is roughly 6 miles west of Yukon and 4.5 miles east of El Reno. Two tornadic supercells here in central Oklahoma and a tornadic supercell in southern Oklahoma. Still on the ground, no, not on the ground. I am so sorry. Tornado warning storms tornado warnings still very much in effect. This one has tried tightening. This is trying to tighten. It's pulling in, trying to pull in some warm, hot inflow. It's rotating. The cloud bases are still low, and now it looks like it's just tightened again. This is trying to strengthen up. We need to keep it between El Reno and Yukon. That is trying to continuously tighten there between El Reno and Yukon. Down south, east of Chickasha. This is trying to make its way over to, it looks like, over to the Norman and Noble area from the looks of it. It's trying to move to the northeast. That little notch that I was mentioning over Tuttle, that is gone now. That is gone. But the tornado threat all over the city is still not gone quite yet. Real quick, the mesoscale discussion. A mature Boeing segment for isolated leading storm will pose an increasing risk for damaging winds and a few tornadoes in the next 1 to 2 hours. This is in southern Oklahoma. This specific mesoscale discussion is kind of like this down there in South Oklahoma and North Texas. Anyway, just across the other portions of Tornado Watch 70s, a mature Boeing segment has maintained organization as it tracks along the Red River Valley in southern Oklahoma and North Texas. The environment ahead of this convection remains unstable and strongly shear, suggesting a continued severe threat. Low-level shear is expected to increase as the bow approaches the modified outflow boundary / warm front in southern Oklahoma. More isolated convection has also slowly deepened ahead of the bow across parts of Carter and Love counties in Oklahoma. There remains the potential for a supercell or two to evolve and strengthen within the strongly sheared air mass, along with the risk for damaging winds, some 70 plus miles per hour. A few tornadoes are possible, both from embedded circulations with any supercells able to become established. Going back up here to central Oklahoma, we still have a little bit of a hook there west of Dibble, Oklahoma. This is all still moving to the northeast and east. It looks like the circulation northwest, just northwest of Yukon and east of El Reno. I haven't quite seen any debris that has been wafted up into the air as of now, but that can change very quickly. We are still looking at a possible developing tornado in Yukon and northwest of Yukon and south in Chickasha. We could be seeing on radar possibly developing tornadoes there. And we're still looking at a big wind event up through that entire area as well. 60 to 70 mile per hour winds, brief tornado threat. Moving back down south, here we did. Oh wow, look at that. That is not good. That's going to be a developing tornado just southwest of Wilson. That might be a developing tornado south of Wilson, Oklahoma. We still have. It looks like this tornado warning is going to be canceled. This might be canceled here very soon. But there might be a new one coming for Piedmont. There might be a new tornado warning here in the next few minutes for Piedmont, Cashin, maybe a little to the east and north as far as Cedar Valley. This is still a rotating. You can still see the coupling. It is still rotating there and down to the south between Chickasha, Blanchard, Dibble. Don't let your guard down. This might miss you to the north if it continues making a trajectory to the northeast. But Dibble, you still need to be in your safe spot regardless. Let's see here. Not Yukon, Mustang. You're currently out of the tornado warning. Union City, a majority of El Reno. Currently, the tornado warning mostly still remains in effect in eastern Canadian County for Oklahoma, Grady and McLean County. East of Chickasha, you're out of it now. Dibble, Blanchard, and at some point possibly Norman, Noble, Cole, Goldsby, even Washington, Oklahoma, possibly Newcastle. We still have a rotating mesocyclone in there that could be that's trying to produce a tornado. And I'm not seeing any debris, or at least not much debris in the air. Currently nothing really popping up. I'm heading towards circulation right now. Help outlet mall. Well, tornado here. Hey, you need a. Are you currently in the tornado warning, Cecilia Wind? If you are in a tornado warning and you are driving, you need to, if you can, you need to exit. So you guys are in the tornado warning. If you guys are in the tornado warning, you guys need to find the closest sturdy building, pull over, get out, and get into the nearest sturdy building right now. Because this is still, there's still a little hook on it here west of Dibble. The tornado threat might be decreasing just a little bit for this cell up here in Yukon. Actually, it looks like there might be a little bit more rotation now. If you are Cecilia Wynn, if you are under a tornado warning, Cecilia Wynn, if you are under a tornado warning, you need to have whoever's driving you needs to be pulled over towards a sturdy and strong building, and you need to get into that strong and sturdy building. You can't remain on the roads because if a tornado does touch down very close to you, it can overturn your car and possibly injure you. Oh, okay. Swung tweet. You need to have your parents, whoever's, yeah, the streets are empty because people are pulling over and getting into a sturdy building. You and your family in that car needs to be doing it too. Rotation continuing west of Dibble and Blanchard. And it looks like it is currently trying to make a bit more of a easterly turn. And still moving northeast, Norman, Goldsby, Noble. I'd be thinking of that safe spot. Yukon, you might be slowly getting out of it now. Damaging wind event continues from Canadian County all the way down into almost McLean County, a little bit there as well. Central Oklahoma. Reflectivity. There is west of Dibble still a little hook echo. And let's see here. Nothing new from the Storm Prediction Center yet. It looks like it's on reflectivity. It looks like it's trying to tighten a little bit. Velocity. Oh, there might be a little bit of a drop there. Hold on, hang on. There. Let's see here. It's not. There might be a little bit of a drop there, right where that rotation is. I'm not gonna shoot the gun just yet, but that might be a tornado trying to develop there. Up to the north near Yukon. You guys are out of it now. The rotation has gone to your north, and this warning should be allowed to cancel until something tries to spin back up, and a new tornado warning in southern Oklahoma. Ardmore, Springer, like I said, Lone Grove, all this area down here. Boeing segment right here, this is going to spin, and this is going to probably produce a tornado very, very soon. Here, Ardmore, Springer, Gene Autry, Lone Grove. This could be trying to produce a tornado. You need to be thinking of that. You need to be getting into that safe spot. You need to be getting inside a sturdy building if you are outside. You need to be getting into a basement, storm shelter, if you have one. This is still rotating here west of Dibble, Oklahoma. And currently that is still trying to spin, trying to rotate. And currently, this tornado warning up here to the north, like I said, that should be allowed to expire until unless something tries to spin up again. Here in southern Oklahoma, Wilson, there's a rotation about to go right over you. We have all this rotation here, and this is going to the north. Lone Grove, Ardmore, Stringer, Oklahoma. You need to get into that safe spot. Blanchard, Dibble, you guys need to be in Oklahoma. You guys need to be getting to your safe spots. Lowest point of the house, centermost point of the house, interior bathroom, interior closet. Cole, Goldsby, Norman, all these towns out here need to be thinking about their safe spot as well, because this storm is still trying to crank. It might be still trying to produce a tornado, but in the last several minutes, the rotation has slowly been going down. This tornado warning only has 4 minutes left on it, and another 4 minutes for that tornado warning storm to the north. They have been slowly weakening, but the tornado threat will remain in place in Oklahoma City. Because remember, that boundary is very close to these storms up here, and we could still see a brief tornado. And I'm getting a lot of rain outside my window now. Holy moly, that is a lot of rain. Straight line winds against twist them. And straight line winds are going to continue within this line. Oh, that's concerning. Right there north of Piedmont. That might be an area to watch. Alright, Yukon. You're out. You should be out of it now, unless there's sudden development. Mustang, you might be getting some wins. Dibble, Blanchard, still under a little bit of a tornado warning, but this should be allowed to cancel now. If there was going to be a new one, it would have been released by now. Down here in southern Oklahoma, North Texas, especially southern Oklahoma, the highest tornado threat will be all out here. Holdenville, McAllister, Ada, Allen, Stonewall, Colgate, Davis, Stringer, Ardmore, Oklahoma, Caddo, Oklahoma. All these out here, and all out here, all these storms in southern Oklahoma, these can still have the ability to produce multiple tornadoes. These tornado warnings should be allowed to expire here in central Oklahoma. Velocity data, tornado warned storms, they are not looking as tight anymore. But Cole, Washington, Norman, Sauterville, Noble, Goldsby, all this area, these towns out here still need to be keeping a very close eye. Oh my goodness. Your mom's coworker got hit by it was on 89th and Sooner. Yeah, that was the EF3 Fong Tui. The 89th and Sooner tornado. That one was an EF3 that tore roofs off of walls and one house did take EF3 damage. There was only, well, to me, an interior bathroom remaining. That was all that was left. Yeah, that tornado's track. Where is here? That tornado's track is roughly somewhere out in this area. Well, what was your question, Anya? I didn't see the question. And yeah, these tornado warnings will be allowed to expire. So I'm going to go down into southern Oklahoma again. I don't know what he did. I didn't mention his name in this live stream. Fong Sui, what do you need? Fong Sui, why do you request my attention? Yeah, I'll be live for a couple of hours for Southern Oklahoma as well. I know. That's why I ran out and told Angela to text her. But right now, the tornado warning should be allowed to expire unless they started to spin again. That Yukon, oh, there's a new severe thunderstorm warning too. I just now noticed that in northern Oklahoma City. Anyways, down south in southern Oklahoma, the tornado threat is slowly increasing down there as these storms spin and they bow out a little bit. The highest tornado threat should be tomorrow in eastern Oklahoma and northeast Texas. A few strong tornadoes are very much possible out there. I didn't mention anything about Tristan in this live stream. I don't know why you're hearing it. I think you're going a little cuckoo on you. I didn't say Tristan. Anyways, there's only currently one active tornado warning for Carter, Love, and Murray County in southern Oklahoma. However, there's still a tornado threat in place pretty much all along I-35 and southeastern Oklahoma. There hasn't been anything new from the SPC, Storm Prediction Center, as of yet, besides that mesoscale discussion for southern Oklahoma. Up here in northern Oklahoma, looks like the line is seriously starting to. Looks like the line's actually starting to weaken. All along this edge, there could be a little kink, and once we see that kink, there could be that potential for a brief tornado. And we still have that active tornado warning to the south. That one might be weakening a little bit now. If I do this one all the way, this might not work very much. There we go. Velocity. Looks like the rotation is trying to go over Lone Grove and Ardmore, Oklahoma. And currently, there's only one tornado warning active in the country, and that is in southern Oklahoma, down here in Love, Carter, and Murray County. Somebody reported some dime-sized hail. And right now, Ardmore getting to the lowest for hitting your lowest point of your house, centralmost point of your house, an interior closet, an interior bathroom, basement, storm shelter. If you live in a mobile home, but you have a local storm shelter very, very close by, get in it. You need to get into it, protect yourself, protect your family, as these storms continue into the northeast and east. It looks like here in more central Oklahoma, we're not seeing as much rotation. We still have at least a little bit of rotation right here, just northwest of Dibble. But for the most part, nothing tornadic. There can be some rotation all along this line. Looks like there might be some rotation there over Cimarron City, Oklahoma, north of Cedar Valley. There might be some rotation trying to develop there. Ardmore, Oklahoma, Gene Autry Stringer, Lone Grove, I'm sorry. It is really trying to strengthen and rotate. I cannot say Christian. Okay, so you said it's the 5212. Hey, I'm gonna turn my TV up a little bit then. 5212. I have no idea where that's at. My TV don't want to work. Anyways, I might have accidentally said that, but there's nothing about actually like Tristan. I think I might have said a different. Um. Oh my lord. I might have said a town that sounded like Tristan, but I didn't. Ouch. Lone Grove, Ardmore. Looks like some of this area of spin still trying to go up, but for the most part, some of these cells ahead of the line needs to be kept an eye on. And again, currently it looks like Oklahoma City, you're still not out of it. Ardmore, Stringer, Oklahoma, you guys are not out of it. Norman, still, there's still a posing tornado risk currently. And right now it's south of Blanchard, northwest of Cole, or sorry, west of Cole, northwest of Dibble. Still seeing a little bit of rotation in there, but for the most part, I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing any debris in the air. I'm not seeing anything on the ground. That is still something to be noted of. There's currently there is a new severe thunderstorm warning up here in northwest Oklahoma. Oh, whoa! Okay, that looked very trippy. That looked like a hook there for a moment. And currently for quarter size hail north of Ava, it looks like there's a little bit of a hail core developing. 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. I don't see any hail that fast in there, but currently storms continuing off to the east, northeast, and eventually this storm down here is kind of out of my. Okay, by Flunkly. There's like some sort of uh radar problem out here in this area of Oklahoma, so I can't really track as well. So as these storms enter this area out here, I'll be shutting off the live stream until they get out towards the Fort Smith area, kind of out in this area. But until then, it's going to be extremely, a lot more difficult to track and 100% tell where the storms are going. It looks like a little complaint still trying to go up there. And, ooh, wait. And, like I said, it's going to be a little more difficult to tell out there in southeastern Oklahoma. And still, the wind threat has gone down at least some, but there's still a tornado threat in place, and a brief tornado threat, and I'll say there might still be some rotation kind of embedded in there, going over Blanchard, where we did have a close near where we had a tornado last night. It's really starting to look like the things are starting to calm down in central Oklahoma. Down in southern Oklahoma, things are starting to really calm down a lot more. And here at 4 o'clock, I am going to shut off the live stream, take a little break, and I may not be able to come back live any after that due to the storms entering a region where it'll be extremely hard to track without storm chasers, and I don't currently have any storm chasers, obviously. So currently right here, Moore, Newcastle, Blanchard, still a few gusts up to 60 miles per hour. And near Blanchard and Dibble and Cole, there's still some rotation and embedded rotation there that I'll be still keeping a close eye on. Doesn't look like much is going on down there currently, though. And Not seeing anything new from the Storm Prediction Center. They're probably not going to upload for quite a while now. But for the most part, things are steadily starting to calm down, and we're not seeing as much anymore, especially in central Oklahoma, due to these storms starting to slow down, and that now that they're merging together, they're not going to pose as much of an organized risk. Tomorrow, on the other hand, we'll have another wave developing in western Oklahoma that'll move north, producing a tornado risk, hail risk, and obviously a wind threat as well. I do think the Storm Prediction Center for tomorrow should move the tornado risk a little further to the west. Like I said, the greatest tornado threat will be out here, but there will be a bigger 5% hazard risk, and obviously 2% risk beyond that. But I do think that they could change it and have a more increased tornado threat in central Oklahoma if these storms tomorrow can produce, and if there's going to be enough low-level shear, instability, spin in the atmosphere, which I'm sure there will be, because it's going to continue being quite a tropical atmosphere. Currently, these storms are entering an environment where I can't really track due to the lack of radar coverage in that region. But we still have the squall line going through Oklahoma City. But the tornado threat is, from what I can tell, is starting to go down a little bit. More Norman, get ready to get some big wind direction changes here. Dibble, Blanchard, Newcastle, Moore, Valley Brook, Del City, Norman, Goldsby, Washington, Slaughterville, Purcell, Noble, Oklahoma. This line segment is getting ready to go through your areas, and a severe thunderstorm risk, or sorry, warning is still in place for 18 minutes, and it still looks like there might be some rotation up here almost. Well, I think that's trying to diminish. Well, the tornado risk has really been going down the last almost hour or so. Not hour. The tornado risk is starting to slow down a little bit over central Oklahoma. And again, I won't really be able to track it all that much out here in this region in southeast Oklahoma. And by the time it gets out into uh, this region in far eastern Oklahoma, I won't be able to go live anymore because it's just going to be too late in the day and I have school tomorrow. So, or at least that I know of, I have school tomorrow, but that could change with flood risks. Again, severe weather will be possible tomorrow, especially out in eastern Oklahoma where there is that strong tornado threat in place. And I'm going to go ahead and stop the live stream here for a little bit. And if I need to, and if these storms do pick up speed and get into far eastern Oklahoma before, and anyways, in eastern Oklahoma, before 8 o'clock p.m. Central Daylight Time, or 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, if those storms don't reach out there as quickly, then I won't be going live. Be safe. Keep an eye on your local weather station or other meteorology